Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. I'm your mayor, Chewy Plays Nintendo, joined by my co-mayor, Sergio. Today, we will discuss the co-director of New Leaf, who has recently left Nintendo, and discuss a rumor about Bandai Namco helping with the development of the next Animal Crossing game. We'll also talk about the games we've played this week. So, hi Sergio, how you doing?
Hello everyone and hello Chewy. I'm doing well. What about yourself?
I'm doing well. We're getting close to the end of the week of Jackie being gone, so pretty soon she'll be back and my life will be in order again.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. There's been some late nights that I just couldn't get to bed, so I stayed up watching TV or something.
Right.
and
Nice.
and then all sorts of other things. I don't know if everybody's listened to, or I don't know how many people just listen to the podcast and don't really check out like the YouTube channel, but I've started posting just like a little diary type of series where I go into a dream town in New Leaf, and essentially, like, I don't really talk about the dream town at all or acknowledge what I'm doing at all.
Right.
I'm just talking like it's a diary entry, and I'm telling you about the last week of my life.
Right.
So yeah, if everybody listened to the most recent episode that came out, I guess that's different for people who are patrons and not patrons. Patrons get an episode a week early. But yeah, I guess, yeah, in this episode I just talked about my plans for the week, and they changed a lot over the week. A lot of things came up that I wasn't expecting, so yeah. But yeah, anyways, I guess speaking of things that were unexpected, we just got news that Isao Moro, Isao Moro is one of the co-directors of Animal Crossing New Leaf. We just got word that he has resigned or left Nintendo. Not really too much of an explanation as to why,
Right.
but this report came from, I guess somebody saw him posted on Facebook. So I kind of looked at their Facebook account, just their profile page, and it's all in Japanese, so I couldn't read it or tell you what it said.
Right. No, but
And I didn't.
definitely a lot of reputable sources have pretty much confirmed it.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't really like plug it into Google Translate or anything to try to see what it
Oh,
said.
right.
I just figured the news outlets that were posting about it
Mhm.
tend to post, good information all the time.
Right.
So I'm just trusting it for what they say. So yeah, I guess this was reported just this past Sunday, July 29th, 2018, and I guess the news is kind of surprising. Like, I don't think I was expecting this so much,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did do that one video recently, not too recently now, but, where I looked at all the developers of Animal Crossing, right?
Right.
And the one thing I did notice about him was that kind of the last thing he had going on was the Welcome Amiibo update.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's been a long time since like we've gotten anything
Oh,
new Animal Crossing wise out of him.
right.
So I guess just for everybody, I wanted to kind of give a history of his roles, what he's worked on at Nintendo, and kind of we'll talk about what this could possibly mean for the next Animal Crossing game.
Mhm.
So yeah, just a quick look back. He started out in 2002, and his first role was an assistant director role on The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. So back when the GameCube was, when did the GameCube come out? Was that 2001 in Japan, US? Or
2001, at least in the US, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, he was fairly new during the GameCube era, which is also like N64 and GameCube are a weird era for Nintendo because everybody kind of forgets that they Nintendo wasn't doing too well at that point. Um, I think CDs became the main medium for people to use for
Right.
like things like music and video games. And at that point, Nintendo 64 was still using cartridges, so not a lot of people moved on to that console. And then even then, like Nintendo didn't commit to like CDs or any type of.
Right.
They committed to a disc, but it was those little tiny cute discs, which I love still. So I don't mind it too much.
Right. Right.
um, but yeah, that's a weird time for Nintendo where they're not doing great.
Right.
um, Things will change very soon, but for now, let's keep going. So then his next role was a debugger role on Animal Crossing E Plus. And just as a note for everyone, Animal Crossing E Plus is the third version of Animal Crossing that Japan got.
Mhm.
So they got Animal Crossing on the N64, and then they got Animal Crossing. Was it just E?
Yes.
It didn't have the plus? Yeah,
Right.
so
Mhm.
Animal Crossing E, I think that was in 2001. Yeah, early 2001. And then at that point, the game went to the States. Nintendo of
Right.
America did a lot to it. And then Nintendo of Japan really liked those changes
Right.
and did a third version of Animal Crossing. So, yeah, I guess also back then, there wasn't like strong internet connections like now. So games were not really updated. They just came out and they were done
Right.
and they were finished. Whereas now games can come out and updates can add a lot of things to them. So yeah, they kind of had to do it manually and put out a whole new game that had all of these updates. So yeah, he was a debugger. So that was his first little step into the Animal Crossing series, and that was
Right.
2003. After that, he was the system director on Animal Crossing Wild World, which came out 2005. He got between that and City Folk, he got a special thanks on Star Fox Command.
Oh.
And then City Folk was when he, I guess, got kind of into a bigger role again. He was an assistant director on that,
Right.
which came out in 2008 everywhere. And then from there, he was the co-director on Animal Crossing New Leaf. His other co-director was Aya Kyogoku, who, fun fact, is the first woman to be a director on a Nintendo game
Mhm.
in that company. So Animal Crossing making big
Right.
steps
Right.
for people. um, so then from there, he was also the co-director with Aya Kyogoku on Animal Crossing Plaza, which was the little
Mm.
Wii U app that came out. And I really wish that led into an HD Animal Crossing game. I mean, I guess it did,
Yeah.
Amiibo Festival, but that doesn't count.
No.
Um, and then he had I guess he had a supervisor role in between, or right after that,
Mhm.
for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. So that, just a little random thing. After that, he was back as the director of Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer and the director of Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo, which was the update to New Leaf.
Mhm.
I guess what I did want to note on the last two Animal Crossing games, Happy Home Designer, Amiibo Festival, and I guess we'll throw in the Welcome Amiibo update.
Mhm.
Aya Kyogoku was a co-producer on Happy Home Designer, Amiibo Festival, and Welcome Amiibo. So she kind of took not really the directing role
Mhm.
for those games following New Leaf. And then after, she did go on and act as a supervisor on Pocket Camp. There's not too much info about, I guess, just the Pocket Camp staff in general,
Right. Right.
I wish I could find that. But it's even hard to find any of the staff for Amiibo Festival. Like, the game has no credits.
Right.
I don't, and we all know why. It's because nobody wanted their name associated with that game. So it's hard to find them. um, but anyways, yeah, I guess I just wanted to note that like I don't know, it seems like these two have kind of been moving into kind of different roles
Hmm.
since New Leaf. So I guess let's get into the question. What do you think this means for the next Animal Crossing game?
Well, it's interesting. As you were describing the roles of Aya Kyogoku, you would think since she was the co-director in New Leaf, that she would sort of become the director of the new games. Um, but it doesn't seem that way. Like you noted, she was the producer, and we don't know. She hasn't done much after this. So, what all of this points me towards is that we're gonna get a new director for the next Animal Crossing game. In a way, I actually see that as a positive thing. I think the next person, the next director, is gonna bring a lot of cool and new, fresh ideas to the series. Who knows? Nintendo loves switching around their development team and trying different things to see what works, what doesn't. I think that's probably why we've been waiting so long for a new Animal Crossing game, but it's also in a way a good thing because we're gonna get a really good one.
Yeah, and I guess this this change is kind of confirming something that I've been suspecting for a little bit. And I've essentially been suspecting that somebody new would be working as the director on this game
Mhm.
or the next Animal Crossing game, you know.
Right.
And I noticed I've just been noticing that Isao Moro and Aya Kyogoku's work has been kind of slim
Hmm.
since the Welcome Amiibo update. I guess even then, like the Welcome Amiibo update was not too big. I don't think it was as big as creating Happy Home Designer. So I feel like both of their work has kind of slowed down. And then Aya Kyogoku is kind of, I guess, following like Nogami's kind of road
Right.
at Nintendo, where he kind of assistant directed the first game under the creator, who it was it Eguchi.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
for Yeah. So Eguchi, he kind of was underneath him on that game, and then he directed both Wild World and City Folk, and then of course passed those reins on to Isao Moro and Aya Kyogoku.
Right.
But Nogami is still he's still playing a producer role on a lot of these Animal Crossing games. He is very busy with Splatoon 2, so there's that. But I suspect that we'll see Aya Kyogoku take up more of a producer role on this next game,
Right.
and we're gonna have somebody kind of new in just leading the team and creating the new game. Um, but yeah, I think Nintendo has placed a lot of new people on this Animal Crossing team. I think they're going to come up with tons of new ideas for the game. I think they're going to grow a lot of things. Because I think each title kind of does that. Like it grows the
Yes.
features out a little bit more. And if we think of Nintendo when New Leaf like actually came out, that was a completely different era of Nintendo.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's go back. It's 2012. It's 2000/2013. At that point, for Nintendo, the big thing was the 3DS, and I think they thought that the big thing was the Wii U at that point,
Hmm.
but no,
No.
the big thing for Nintendo, like since I don't know 2010 or so, has been the 3DS until 2017, which is a long lifespan,
Yes.
and so they had the Wii U. I'm sure they had a lot of really great plans for the Wii U, but I think very early on in the Wii U's life cycle, they had a realization that it wasn't working.
Yes.
Something went terribly wrong, and they didn't come out with the right successor for, just them. The
Right.
Wii did so great, and then the Wii U just crashed. And so I have a feeling that like those mistakes that Nintendo made with the Wii U led to a lot of delays in games.
Hmm.
For example, I mean, did we get like a big 3D Mario game? I guess we got 3D World,
Right.
which was very different from like the experience that we got from, you know, Galaxies 1 and 2.
Hmm.
Um, and so I feel like a lot of games, like even Zelda, like we were waiting for Breath of the Wild for so long on the Wii U, and eventually they're like, well, we're just going to put it on both the
Right.
Wii U and the Switch, you know? So I felt like a lot of things that they had planned for the Wii U got pushed back.
Yes.
Um, and so that's where things were different for Animal Crossing. You know, in 2012, 2013, when New Leaf came out, I was expecting, all right, we'll probably play this for like 2, 3 years, and then they're going to give us that HD Animal Crossing.
Right.
And I was right. 2 to 3 years later, HD Animal Crossing came out, Amiibo Festival, and I'm pretty sure Amiibo Festival was like, that's the filler for us, right?
Right.
Um, I think Happy Home Designer was them wanting to branch out and do something different with the series. Amiibo Festival was Nintendo saying the Wii U is not working. We're going to save our good stuff for the next console.
Right. But we need to have an Animal Crossing game on the system just to have it. It's like a check mark.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I don't doubt that Nintendo truly wants to have as many games as possible be represented on each console, you
Hmm.
know? Like I get the sense that they really do want to put out games and, you know, have people enjoy tons of different IP from Nintendo on one system. And so they clearly felt that way too, wanted an Animal Crossing game on here. Slash, if you read interviews about Amiibo Festival, you'll see straight up that they're like, we just wanted Animal Crossing Amiibo. Like, and I'm pretty sure you did too. So there you go.
Right.
And so we got that. I think that's the best thing that came out of Amiibo Festival, the actual
True.
Amiibo.
True.
I love them. They're great. They're super cute. But yeah, I think their plans for the next game definitely got pushed back. And so now, looking at where Nintendo is, I think their focus has been like getting all of these new games out and giving us like the representation of all the different IPs.
Right.
Of course, this year's been strange. I feel like a lot of their resources went to having a big 2017,
Yes.
not so much a big 2018.
Right.
So, and that's how development goes, you know? Like there's some gaps where it's slower than usual. And I think we're in that slow point right now. Unfortunately, it's year 2 of the Switch
Hmm.
when I feel like they should be pushing out more, you know? But there's a lot on the way. And I'm just hoping Animal Crossing's one of those things, you know?
Right. 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 And with all of the events that the Wii U caused, like you said, a lot of games were delayed, and it also makes sense that a lot of development teams and members were shifted, and they were put in different positions, different roles, and that's why we're seeing maybe some of them leaving or some of them not so tied with a series that they used to be really tied to. In like I said, I think that's a good thing, and this the developer or the former director of Animal Crossing leaving, it adds some spice to the rumor that we will be discussing about a third party or another company co-developing the game alongside Nintendo.
Yeah, that's true. I guess real quickly, I had something to say. I don't really remember. Let's go into that discussion that you're bringing up. So
Mm.
the co. Okay, so we've heard a rumor essentially that the next Animal Crossing is going to be, was it developed or co-developed by Bandai
Co-developed,
Namco?
right?
Okay, so yeah, you want to give us a little background on this rumor?
Yes, so it is hard to say for sure. The source itself is not exactly reputable, and it's hard to imagine that Bandai Namco, since they're already working on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and also very somewhat likely they may be working on Metroid Prime 4. It's hard to believe that they're also going to be co-developing Animal Crossing. We don't know either way. We also don't know if Nintendo is actually working with someone or not, if they are handling the entire development on their own like they have in the past. So it's very hard to say, but it was just a rumor that came up, and it got us thinking as to what companies we may think that Nintendo would co-develop the game for, or a company that we would want them to co-develop with.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess my thoughts on this rumor, um, I'd say I don't typically believe these rumors. I still feel like Nintendo's gonna handle developing Animal Crossing.
Yes.
I don't see them. It's a pretty unique game. Like even for life sims, like it works pretty differently, and I don't know. I just don't see too many other people being able to emulate that, you know?
Right.
Um, but yeah, I also just feel like Bandai Namco's already working on Metroid Prime 4. They're working on Smash. Like, those are two huge games. Like,
Yes.
they're no joke,
Right.
you know? Um, so it seems crazy to me to put, like, yet another game on their plate when they already have two major titles that, like, Smash fans are crazy. They love Smash. And Metroid fans are crazy. They
Yeah.
love Metroid. And they've been waiting for this for so long. Like, it doesn't make sense to take focus off of those two titles. And it's already crazy to me that, like, Bandai Namco's working on both of them.
Right, right. And
That
like you were saying, there's so much expectations for Metroid Prime 4. It's gonna be really crazy and interesting.
Yeah, they're trying to deliver on two just huge games, and the expectations are very high for the both of these series, you
Hmm.
know. And so adding Animal Crossing on top of that, like I know my expectations are high for Animal Crossing. So that's a whole lot of pressure on one company.
Yes.
um, anyways, also Bandai Namco, they make Tales games, they make Digimon games. I kind of want them to put more of that on the Switch,
Mm,
you
okay,
know?
right.
Because, you know, they're games that I appreciate that they make. And I'm like, Nintendo can already make Nintendo games. Like, let Nintendo make Nintendo games, and Bandai Namco, you give me what I like from
Right.
you, you know? So, luckily, they are already delivering on Tales and Digimon. Tales of Vesperia is coming out in
Yes.
December, I
Hmm.
believe. And then they have a Digimon game in the works. I just watched a trailer for it. It looks kind of like a strategy RPG type of game,
Ooh,
which I'm into. I like that style of gaming, so and I love Digimon, so
cool.
um, yeah, I guess as far as like companies I could see kind of co-developing a game. Clearly, ND Cube is working on Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival 2. ND Cube made the first
Oh,
one. They need some redemption because it's a great idea. They just did it really badly the first time. So, yeah, they're working on Amiibo Festival 2.
oh, I just had an idea. What if the Animal Crossing mobile game that we waited for and that became Pocket Camp? What if Amiibo Festival had been the mobile game? I think maybe that would have been better.
That would have been more fun. But also, like, I don't know how redeemable it would be still.
Right.
um, it
If
if it had
we,
online play,
yes.
the game would be 100% better.
Right,
But
right.
it doesn't. It's still kind of a non-game.
It would have, yeah, it would have been really cool to have Pocket Camp on the Wii U and still have the Amiibo, and then the mobile game be Amiibo Festival. I guess that tough part would be making a turn-based game on mobile. I mean, you could always just save and continue your monthly playthrough next time.
Yeah, yeah. You know what would work as a mobile game? I think they could make Desert Island Escape a
Oh,
mobile game.
yes, yes.
Um, Desert Island Escape is a true gem. It is the best part of Amiibo Festival, hands down. Um, I think that would be a great mobile game because, you know, they could always just make new levels and add it to it.
True.
Or they could follow like the Super Mario Run kind of direction and make it like a one-time purchase. You get this many levels
Right.
and you get all these characters and stuff, and I think that would have worked fine, you know?
Right, and they keep adding a couple little free things down the road.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like spin-off titles, I could easily see Nintendo handing spin-off titles to people to play with, you
Yes,
know?
right.
Um, and I think there are developers they trust with that kind of thing. The main game, I don't know. We have seen like Monolith Soft get credit for helping on Animal Crossing New Leaf.
True.
Um, and Monolith Soft, for those who don't know, they're behind like the Xenoblade Chronicles type
Hmm.
of games, and those, that I wouldn't mind like a huge open world Animal Crossing. It would be gigantic. It would be HD. It would be the most beautiful
Love
game.
it.
Um, but anyways, so we have seen like some other like developers kind of help out with the game, you know?
Yes.
Um, so I guess I could see people coming in playing like a small role,
Hmm.
but I'm not so sure about other studios like completely taking over or
No, right.
doing like a big part of the game.
Right. I agree. I mean, the rumor got us thinking, and well, I also agree that Nintendo is handling most likely just the entire development like they usually do. Like you said, we might see a couple of special things from certain companies, but I did have a couple of companies that, just in case there's some truth to this rumor, or we end up hearing that Nintendo did work a little bit with other companies. I believe, for example, that Grezzo, they are the developers of some of the Zelda games on the 3DS, the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask ports. They did a good job with those ports. They are also currently working on the Luigi's Mansion port for the 3DS. And more notably, they developed Ever Oasis, which is a very underlooked game, I would say, because, it came out when the Switch was just barely out and everybody was talking about it and playing it. Ever Oasis flew under the radar, but it's a really good game and it has a couple of cool little features that would work well on Animal Crossing, I think.
Yeah, I was really interested in playing Ever Oasis. I think it just came out at an unfortunate time in the
Yes.
system's lifetime, you know? Very near the end of the 3DS. I mean, technically the 3DS is still going, but we all, for the most part, consider it being the end of its lifespan, right?
Right, right.
It's mostly just because, like, support has clearly slowed down for the 3DS. Like, there aren't too many things in the works, but Ever Oasis was one of those standouts that I was really interested in playing. Um,
Yes, and everyone, including us, we just said, "Okay, why don't you just move it to the Switch, please? We'd rather see it
yeah,
there."
yeah, and I like it does have like those life sim mechanics where you're building little shops and stuff in your Oasis, and you're growing it in some way to make it even better, you know?
Right, right. And it has this huge world outside your town that has a lot of different caves and areas that are randomly generated. I think it would work well for Animal Crossing, even if they don't add like some sort of combat system. Even if it's just exploring caves to get items or rare bugs, it would be cool if they are randomly generated every day.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. That would be really fun. Like, because I always think of how cool it would be to go into a cave in Animal Crossing. Because, like, ores were very annoying for me in New Leaf. I
Mhm,
loved the idea of getting the ores,
mhm.
but I was sad that you only got one every day.
Right, right.
I wouldn't mind if there was some way to get them easier because you use them to like customize furniture and stuff. Maybe lower the value a little bit because they're easier to find.
Right.
But overall make it easier for us to find it. So I always think like if we enter a cave and you go mining for ores, that would be really fun. And yeah, thinking of it in the sense of like it being like a randomly generated area
Mhm.
each day, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think it would keep it really interesting each and every time you go into that cave.
Right, right. And then I had another company that has very good partners with Nintendo that, if there is some truth to the rumor, they Level 5 might be doing at least a little bit of part of the development of Animal Crossing, only because some of their franchises are really, they share some similarities with Animal Crossing. Yokai Watch, for example. That's more similar to Pokemon, but I think some of the elements could also carry over to Animal Crossing. And even more so, Fantasy Life, it's a game that they develop, and that one is highly regarded as a sort of Animal Crossing with combat, basically.
I love Fantasy Life. I had a lot of fun with Fantasy Life. I started out as a chef, and I realized very quickly that that was the wrong thing to start as
Oh,
because you're very dependent on being able to find and scavenge a lot of different materials.
hmm,
And so I was like, I have no skills to find or scavenge all of these materials. Clearly, it's harder to be a chef than it is to do something else.
right.
um, so yeah, I switched my job in that game and then got going a little bit faster, and I was able to go back to be a
Nice.
chef
Oh,
eventually
cool.
because that was my goal. I wanted to cook things. It was fun.
Cool, cool.
But yeah, I love Fantasy Life. And thinking of that, like the whole idea of having different jobs, is something that I want implemented in a new Animal Crossing game. Like,
Hmm.
I don't want to just be the mayor. After playing Happy Home Designer, I was like, I also want to be a designer. I want to go
Yes.
and every time somebody moves into my place and they tell me like, here are my 3 pieces of furniture I want, homie, hook it up. And then you're like, yeah, I'll do that. So I, yeah, and both of these companies that you've mentioned, I feel would have a great like effect on the next game,
Hmm.
and now I feel sad that I'm like, no, nobody can work on this game. Only Nintendo can do it, and but like clearly these people have made games that I feel have features that I'm interested in and things I
Hmm.
want to see happen in a game. So I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all if they, called up Nintendo and were like, "Hey, we got this idea for Animal Crossing.
Right.
You could totally use it, but let us work on the game a little bit."
Yeah, yeah. We'll help you get it out in a year instead of 2 or 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please let let the game be out.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. There's so much going on behind the scenes at Nintendo that we just don't know.
Yeah.
And it astounds me cuz I'm like, whoa, they can do so much with this game, but they haven't shown us anything. When are we going to see it? What are they doing with it? I just there's so much I want to know, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And there's still nothing concrete on a direct. We're still waiting.
That's true. I guess speaking of directs, do you think they're gonna start announcing like 2019 games at all, or do you think they're gonna stick to the script and keep it all kind of 2018?
No, I think they will. They did promise they are going to give us an update on the Yoshi game, which has been confirmed for 2019. I think at the same time they're gonna give us a sneak peek of what's coming next year, and let's just hope that Animal Crossing is part of that.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me this year has been that there's only been like one new announcement from Nintendo, like each direct.
Yes.
Um, For example, January we had that mini direct. The big thing was Mario Tennis Aces.
Hmm.
Yeah. From there we got I think the March direct, and the big thing was Super Smash Bros.
Right.
And then there's a big gap all the way to June until we get any more news, and it's more Super Smash Bros. But we did get, Mario Party, Super Mario Party
Yes.
announced. So I think that's been the hardest thing for me this year, that I went into it thinking it'd be really cool if they pull off like, what they did in January of 2017 when they announced the Switch.
Oh.
When they announced the Switch, they gave us so many things to
Yes.
look forward to. So many things. Like we got the final Breath of the Wild trailer. We got some stuff for like Splatoon. We got to see the new ARMS things.
Yes.
We got to see Super Mario Odyssey for the first time there.
Right.
Like we got like a look at so many major titles. I think even Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was in that.
Mm,
So, like, all the major titles coming in 2017 were
yes.
announced that January direct. And then 2018 rolls around and I'm like, dude, do that again.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I would love to see that. And then
Hmm.
they don't, you know?
No, right, right.
It's just been little tiny bite-sized snacks where instead of like I just want a big thing, you know? I want the whole meal.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
maybe next January, if they save everything up like it seems they have, maybe January 2019, they might, repeat that and announce all the major games that are coming out that year.
I hope so. I hope they are listening to the feedback that they've gotten.
Hmm.
I think one thing that was very revealing of their E3 presentation was it took maybe 2 days for people to start going, all right, well, I can't wait for the next direct.
Yes, right.
You know, like people were already wanting more. And I get the strategy of, giving us a taste and leaving us wanting more.
Hmm.
But clearly, we're being left wanting too much more. Um,
Yes. And I
they're
think
just, you go for it.
Oh, I think the fact that they acknowledge it by, having interviews later on and saying, yes, we know you want Mother. Yes, we know you want Animal Crossing. We didn't announce everything. I think that acknowledges the fact that they know they left us wanting a lot more.
Yeah, and their stocks dropping was a
Right.
good reason for them to come out and start saying things. Yeah, so like essentially their stocks have been on the decline. And I really hope that they realize that it's because they've been boring this year. Um, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff coming and there's stuff people are excited about, but overall, like we got the news for it so slowly and it's so hard waiting in between each thing. So
Yes, right.
I hope next year they change that and give us more of the 2017 thing where
Mm.
we already got an amazing amount of information and then we get to the next direct and we're like there's even more. That's amazing. But yeah, I think that's what they were missing. They just needed that one giant direct that
Yes.
gave us so much, like more than we could possibly dream,
Right, right.
and then get to the next direct and be like, oh yeah, guess what, we got a little bit more. Like at that point I feel like a little taste is good.
Yes. Yeah, right,
But I
right.
think we need to start with the meal and then get dessert afterwards.
Right.
Like that's what we need. That's how
That's how
not
it's
like
done.
this appetizer after appetizer type of thing.
True.
Um yeah, so I want to see them change that up. I think it's going to be good for them. I think more people will be excited again. I think a lot of people have been a little bit bored this year. Like, and it sucks to be bored because, we're getting Smash, we're getting Mario Party, we're getting Pokemon. Not only that, we're getting
Yeah.
Pokemon. They didn't even the week before they did like a secret presentation on Pokemon, and then at E3 it wasn't even awesome
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like, why
It's
not
like,
just
we
save
know
that
this. Yeah.
if E3 was just added on top of that presentation, or if Pokemon was added on top of that E3
Right.
presentation, it would have been so exciting.
Yes.
Two huge, huge, huge games coming out November and December. That would have blown minds, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I don't know. They're not managing the news cycle very well.
No,
Um,
right. And the games are
which
coming. So the games are being done. It's just the way they announce them, the timing of releases. I guess they need to iron out that part a little more.
Yeah, and it's weird because they do Nintendo Directs and it's a day that's like just all them. Like that's the
Yes.
news,
Yes. Right.
Like they control
Right.
those days. There's nobody else talking about anything else.
Right.
So it sucks to see them misstep in those ways. But I'm excited. I'm excited because I feel like since their stocks are dropping after having such a successful year, they're like, okay, what did we do wrong? I'm
Right.
just hoping they pinpoint exactly what they're doing wrong, you know?
Oh, there's no Animal Crossing on the Switch. That's wrong.
That is the wrongest thing I've ever heard. I've never seen anybody be more wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's time. I mean, I feel like I said this last time, but Nintendo's running out of things to announce.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, it's got to be Animal Crossing.
Right.
um, my fear is like they're gonna wait and just give us little appetizers until it's late, until it feels late. And I want people to feel like, whoa, this year is gonna be so great. I can't wait to, because then people come into the direct saying, I can't wait to hear more about this game.
Right. Yes, that's right.
Um, and then not only are they hyped to learn more about a game, they get some new stuff in there, and people are like, "Wow, I
Yes.
wasn't even expecting this. This is even better than I thought." You know.
Right.
So yeah, one day I'll get a job at Nintendo. I'll let them know how to handle these things.
Right.
So yeah, I guess if you can all tell that Sergio and I, we are in a drought of games. Well, specifically, we're in a drought of Animal Crossing. That's what
Right.
we really want. But in the meantime, we're playing other games along the way. So I just wanted to give a little update about which games we have played this week. So Sergio, let's start with you. What have you been playing this week?
Not much. You know what happens in it hadn't happened for a couple of years, but I feel like it's happening this year. So because of the summertime and it gets so hot in here in California, I just don't feel like playing games that have a story. Games that are like very involving. For example, Octopath Traveler. I got that like 2 weeks ago when it came out, and I started it, and I like it. I love it. It's so classic. But it's just I'm just not drawn to it. I'm not drawn to a couple other single player games that I was playing, or not necessarily just single player games, but games that have a story and that you progress in that have a definite beginning and end. I'm not enticed at the moment. So I mostly play multiplayer focused games. I'm playing a lot of Rocket League still. I play some Splatoon 2 also.
Hmm.
I did import the Taiko no Tatsujin, the drumming game that came out in Japan a couple of weeks ago. That one was recently announced for North America and Europe, by the way. So we're gonna be getting a localized version, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I imported that with the drum, and I'm getting better at it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm basically playing simple games that don't require or that don't have a really deep story. I am waiting and really anticipating WarioWare Gold next week or this Friday. So that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I wish we got that Japanese title for it. WarioWare Made in Wario Gorgeous or
Oh,
whatever. Such a great title. um, I love WarioWare games. I downloaded a couple. I have one on my 3DS. I have one on my Wii U. And
mm.
that's kind of what I want to play right now that you mention it. um, but yeah, WarioWare games are super fun. You should start Stardew Valley. I've, I guess, speaking from what I've played this week, I've
Mhm.
played Stardew Valley and Splatoon 2 more than anything. Splatoon 2 mostly because I play on a competitive team, and if you all have seen my YouTube, I've posted a couple videos of some matches that I've had. Um, but yeah, I practiced that a lot and feel like I've been getting better. And then Stardew
Nice.
Valley, I played it like crazy yesterday. I played maybe 5 hours and I
Oh,
got through like half a season. It was a lot.
oh,
And I
nice.
had fun the whole time. Um, Outside of that, I'm kind of visiting. I did also get Octopath Traveler, and I've played through one chapter of a hero, and I've gone on and found another hero. So I'm just at the beginning of another chapter,
Mhm.
and I like it a lot so far. The visuals are great. I love looking at
Yes.
the game. It sounds really nice. It's very well presented, and yeah, I'm excited to get deeper into it. From
Right.
the little taste I've had so far, I like it. You know.
Right.
Um, And then the last thing I kind of played was Night in the Woods. It's an indie game. I love this game. It's so well written. Um, I have not beaten it, of course. I just got to about like part 3 or so, so I'm very early on in the game. I don't
Hmm.
know how long it is exactly, but I'm still pretty early on, and it's it's interesting. It's got a great story. I don't know. I guess it doesn't really compare to the stories like say an Octopath Traveler. It's very different. It's very modern.
Modern, right?
Yeah, it's a very modern kind of story, and the gameplay is not as involved, I guess. Like you just kind of explore,
Yes.
you know. So it's more of a relaxing type of game rather than, really like sink lots of hours challenging yourself type of
Yes.
game.
Right.
Um, so I don't know if that would be like a story kind of based game that you would be into during the summer, but
Right.
at the same time, like it's clearly you should play this game in the fall. Like
Oh, that's true.
it feels like a Halloween type of game.
Yeah, definitely.
And the part I just played was like it was Halloween.
Oh.
So yeah, I've had a really good time with those games this past week. I did get another indie game that I'm gonna try to highlight on Thursday. It's called Pool Panic. It's from Adult Swim Games, and you play as a little cue ball and you hit pool balls all over the place. um,
Cool. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. I'm kind of on the fence on that one.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be posting like gameplay and kind of talking about it on Thursday. So yeah, just a little bit about like the schedule that I'm trying to pull off with YouTube, because I do want to start posting more videos again. Sundays, you can expect my weekly update videos. I've been good about keeping up with those. I mean, a lot of you don't know that I have been, but I have two up. The second one is up for patrons right now.
Mhm.
But for everybody else, you can hear the first one, which was pretty fun to do. Mondays, I'm still figuring it out a little bit. I'm planning on doing more of like generic Nintendo news. Tuesdays, as always, it's the podcast. Wednesdays will be a Stardew Valley Let's Play because I've been really having fun with that
Hmm.
game. Um, and then Thursdays, I'm going to do indie games on the Switch. And yeah, so you can expect some indie game stuff.
Nice.
Fridays, I'm bringing back Friday videos. They're going to be different topics on Animal Crossing. And then Saturday, I want to get back into my live streaming because I haven't really
Cool.
played New Leaf, that new file that I started since that like last recording that I put
Right.
up,
Right.
you know? So yeah, I'm going to get back into that, start living that life again. And
Cool.
yeah, so pretty sure it's going to be full weeks. Mondays, I'm still kind of figuring it out. I don't know if I posted a video yesterday. I am recording this in the past Sunday. So, yeah, we'll see what happens on Mondays. But for the most part, I've got things planned out.
Cool. Cool. And you're right. I should play Stardew Valley because yes, I finally downloaded it. I've been putting it off for a long time and neglecting it. I know I'm gonna like it, so I just need to do one more push and actually start it.
Yeah, and it's exciting because tomorrow, the day after this podcast airs, the multiplayer comes out on PC and Mac.
Yes.
And the whole thing behind my Let's Play on Stardew Valley right now is that I really want to get to the point where where I'm playing this game multiplayer with people. Like I want
Hmm.
my Let's Plays to be multiplayer
Oh,
experiences.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to get to. But yeah, I don't know when it's coming to consoles, but I do
Right.
know Switch is going to be the first console to get multiplayer.
Okay.
I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll have it because I did get this game on PC or well on my Mac recently,
Hmm.
and so I'm going to be testing out the multiplayer a
Oh,
little bit.
nice. Okay.
I want to see how it works, kind of plan out how I'm going to
Yes.
be handling that series in the future, you know? Um, but yeah, we can play together. We can have a farm
Yeah.
together
Nice.
and live together. It'd be so fun. Um, But yeah, I guess anyways, thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron. And if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes, which I think I may start adding my 3DS friend codes to the list too, so more people can get it who join the Discord. Until now, it's been kind of open to patrons, but I think I'm gonna provide patrons with a little bit better stuff. So yeah, you'll get to benefit in that way. Anyways, if you do want to become a patron and you're interested in this better stuff, visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support our show, get tons of cool things. If you love what we're doing and Animal Crossing and want to support even more, you're totally welcome to, but I only I only ask for $1. So you don't have to give more if you don't want to. But yeah, like I said, I have a new series for patrons. A new series that patrons get first access to. This is my diary series where I visit dream addresses while, talking about my personal life. So if you ever want to know more about me, that's where to get it. And if you're watching or listening on YouTube, leave a comment about, a developer you feel would do a great job with Animal Crossing. And please leave a review for the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you all so much for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.